Welcome to Backyard Family Fun, the podcast from Pride Pools, Spas, and Leisure Products. In Claxton and Savannah, Georgia, celebrating 50 years serving our community, this family-owned business has spent decades helping create memories that last a lifetime. Whether you're a pool owner, a spa lover, or just looking to turn your outdoor space into a true retreat, we've got you covered right here on the Backyard Family Fun podcast. And as a crazy awesome deal for our Backyard Family Fun podcast fans, you get 10% off anything inside either location in Claxton and Savannah, excluding pools, hot tubs, or saunas when you mention the podcast. That's all you have to do. Go and visit the Claxton or Savannah Pride Pools, mention the podcast, and get 10% off. Now that's a reason to celebrate. Welcome back to Backyard Family Fun. And of course, we are getting ready to have a really, really fun conversation as always here on this show. We want to remind you that we are at both locations, Savannah and Claxton, for Pride Pools, Spas, and Leisure Products. You can click any of the links in the show notes to take you to any of the locations and give you a whole lot of great information. Alex Smith is on this episode with me. Alex, this is going to be a fun episode because we have gathered our listener questions. Okay. And this is going to be kind of a hodgepodge, ask the expert, just is sort of a quick fire just on anything.
I'll try.
We'll try to keep it all pool related and spa related, but okay. Some people just want your advice on anything,
I understand. I get it.
I didn't include this in the questions, but I did see one that was like, what's your best recipe for a burger? So, but
advice for anything.
Are you on it? Are you an expert in that regard as well? That's a good question. I'll let you think on that one.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Think about it. We have the tools to make the best burger.
That's right. That's right.
We got the Big Green Egg. We got the Green Mountain Grill, the wood pellet grill. So I've learned how to cook indirectly, I guess, because we got to test out what you sell.
That's right.
You got to sample. You got to know how it works, because if you don't know how it works, then how can you sell it?
That's exactly right.
So that's kind of what we've done. I've got a wood pellet grill, and so I can make a pretty good hamburger. Mm-hmm. We definitely ground beef and lean ground beef, and I can't tell you what all put in it now. It's special.
But you can tell us how to cook it.
I can.
That's right.
and the Green Mountain Grill, that wood pellet, you get it. That thing will get up to like 600 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it. So, I'm kind of like to do the sear, and then wait a minute, and then a sear, and we're done.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
that
so
sounds good.
We don't like to cook it all the way through, so we do like to get that. And the wood pellet, the thing about the wood pellet grill, it'll get whatever you set it at, 425 or whatever it is, and it will maintain that temperature. It's incredible. So it's got the pellets in the hopper, and it'll feed it, and it's amazing, even with the lid up or down. We've got some pretty cool grills. So without that kind of grill, I don't know if I could probably cook as good.
Yeah.
I don't say as good. I probably couldn't even cook.
Yeah. Well, you got the cool tools, so
yeah,
it's all good. All right, let me get to some of these really, really fantastic questions. First question, talking about shocking your pool. How often should someone shock pool or spa? Is there, does it depend?
So yes and yes. So we do recommend shocking the pool at least once a month, every 30 days. Mm-hmm. You need shocking that's oxidizing. So step number 2. Step number 1 is sanitation, which is like you're feeding the pool via tablets or stick, but shock is oxidizing the pool. So you're removing swimmer's waste. A lot of people don't know why you have to do that. So you have to do that to get rid of any contaminants, swimmer's waste, and things like that. So be sure you get the right dosage, read the bag, and the bag would tell you 1 pound per so many thousand gallons. Mm-hmm. The most common is 1 pound per 10,000 gallons, but some of these bags, some of the shock will do like 15,000 or 16,000 per bag.
Right.
So you can't overshock it. People think that, wow, I put too much. No, because it's unstabilized chlorine. So when you shock it and it does its job, and if you did too much, more is better in this case. In this particular incident, oxidizing and shocking is okay to do a little extra.
Right.
But once a month, and you're good. Your sanitation level, when you're reading off your test strips, you got a free chlorine and total chlorine. Your free chlorine is what's active, and your test strips will read it. It'll be high at first, but then again, this unstabilized chlorine, the shock is, and it'll dissipate in the water. It'll go away. It'll go away through backwash, rinse, sunlight, stuff like that. So, yeah, about once a month is when you shock the pool.
That's a good question, by the way.
It
Thank
is.
you for the question. And also, it's good to know that you can't overshock it.
You can't. That's right.
That's really, really good. Okay, talking about the water line tile. How do I clean my water line tile?
That's another. We are everywhere, aren't we? So we do have product for that, and do not use any household products for that. That's my first advice right out the gate. Be certain it's designed for pool water, and if it's a vinyl liner, again, water line. The water line could be tile for a concrete pool, or it could be vinyl for a vinyl pool, or it may be fiberglass. And either way, you have a finish that you have to protect.
Right.
Meaning that use the right product for that. Because if you're using it for vinyl, it may not be applicable for concrete or a tile, ceramic tile. So just read the label, but we do have it. It's called Off the Wall. That's actually the name of it.
That's
it's
easy
called
to remember.
Off the Wall. And so it kind of applies specifically to the waterline tile or waterline debris or whatever. You get the suntan lotion, body oils, and that has a tendency to kind of get stuck there on the waterline.
Yeah.
And this will remove it for sure. There's another product to put into the water to prevent it even getting onto the waterline. So we call that Pool Complete. And it's like a pretty simple word, complete, meaning it does it everything. It does it all, meaning it will break down all of those like microns of the body oil and the suntan lotion and pollen. It'll just kind of break it down so the filter can catch it.
Right.
So it'll break it down into the water and keep it off the waterline.
So it's not getting caught.
That's right.
there.
It's not getting caught on the waterline. That's correct.
That makes sense.
And it's a multi-purpose product. It does water clarity. It'll keep the water very clear and clean, and give it a sparkle. So Pool Complete to prevent getting debris, and the Off the Wall. It's and these are BioGuard products too, Byron.
Okay.
And we have, and there's other products available, but those what work.
I like that. Great question.
Sure.
Let's talk about infinity pools. This is a fun question. Are infinity pools actually practical, or are they just for Instagram and Facebook?
Well, so, there's, you got Vanishing Edge.
Yeah.
Infinity pools. I mean, what is what and who does what and all that stuff. So infinity means, hey, it runs forever.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get a cascading edge. Most of the time the water spills. Vanishing Edge and infinity, very similar. So you could have it where the pool's in the ground, you're in the pool, you're looking out over a body of water, like pond, lake, ocean.
Right.
But the whole concept of it is an infinity.
Yeah.
Meaning that it's running and going and there's no stop to the edge. So it's designed for the water to spill over, and it goes into a catch basin, and then that's filtered there. But it cascades over the edge of the pool, and the way the pool's designed, that edge, it gives it a look of. So Vanishing and Infinity is kind of the same.
Same sort
very
of visual
similar.
effect,
It
right?
is.
Yeah,
That is correct. Vanishing is you kind of make that edge or that spill where it blends into the environment. It blends into your landscape. But it's all about that water is continuous, like the water never stops.
Right. Right.
But that's your infinity. And we have built those. They're not real. You just got to have a right setting for
Right.
that. And it does take a special design to do that. So, and if you're willing to invest in that,
Yeah.
then we can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
can. Yep.
And it does make a nice effect.
It's beautiful.
Had a great picture on social
Oh,
media.
yes. Like I said, Instagram, social media. So, if you want your pool to be posted there.
That's right. Now, this seems like it may be an easy question, but I don't know, actually. I'm very curious what your answer is to this one. The water level in my pool is too high. What should I do?
All right. So that could happen in several different ways. Rain. Mm-hmm. So you could have it by a natural setting where it's always raining, or maybe you needed evaporation. You needed to add water to the pool, and we got distracted. And then we started doing something else,
That's
and
right.
then the water stayed on. And it's like, I thought I heard something. And that happens.
Yeah.
It's not if, it's like when.
Yeah.
Because I think it happens to one of us. But it's not going to hurt anything.
Okay.
It's not going to damage. That's what people were probably more worried about or concerned about. Now, what we do is we install overflows on every one of our pools. That way, didn't mean to, wow, there's a lot of rain, don't have to worry about.
Okay.
It'll gravity fall out the pool. And it's an overflow that we install, and it's a natural overflow. You don't see it. We kind of disguise it in the skimmers and things like that. So it's something that, again, another thing that we do to prevent or have the customer be worried and concerned. I'll say it, and I'll always say it. A pool should be fun, not work and
That's
worry.
right.
Who wants to worry and work on an investment?
Yeah.
I mean, I spent all this money on it, and I got to be worried about it. We try to prevent that. So we put all the features with the pool to make it easier to maintain. So that's another little feature that we add, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, if you do not have an overflow, and there's nothing in the pool that indicates that, you want to waste it. So most filtration systems do have a waste mode on their multi-port valve. And what I mean by that is you heard a backwash in your filter. So where you turn that handle to do that, you just go to waste. And waste bypasses your sand filter or your cartridge filter, whatever type filter you have. It bypasses that and just dumps the excessive water in the pool out into your backwash line, your waste line. So it could go into the ground, it could go into a pond or lake, but but that amount of water that you're removing is through your waste, not backwash. If you backwash in it, you're going to have to go through your rinse cycle and finish it out. So the best thing to do is just put it on waste, take some water down, and then you're done. So that's the other option if you overfill the pool. But it's not going to harm or hurt anything with our new installations because we have the fail-safe for that.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yep.
All right, couple more questions. Cartridges. How long do cartridges last?
So I guess cartridges, like for the filtration, they're referring to because there's three types of filtration systems. You have diatomaceous earth, that's called DE, and then you have a cartridge filter system, and then you have the sand filter. We use sand. Sand is simple, again, easy to take care of. There's no replacing it all the time. But cartridge filters, I recommend, if you have a cartridge filter system, I recommend to have two sets. So if it's a one cartridge or a 2 or 3 cartridge system it takes inside the canister, just have a replacement set on standby. Because when you remove those cartridges, you do need to clean them correctly. And there's a product, again, don't use any household products to clean that. If you look at that real close, the filter, it's kind of webbed. It's kind of webbing like that. And so when that debris hits that, it kind of sticks to your pleats of the filter and eventually will build pressure. And then you'll have to remove it, clean it, and put it back in. But you want to put the filter back in dry. Dry.
Yeah.
People they'll take it out, rinse it,
Put it back in?
And then put it back in.
Yeah.
And then if they're rinsing it, a lot of times they'll hold the cartridge and then take the hose and then they'll shoot the debris directly into the filter.
Right.
That's not a good thing either. So we have filter cleaners for your pleats. And it's like these little fingers that stick inside the pleats, and it's like a wand, and it cleans. So, and you never want to shoot the water directly. You always want to angle the water. So you angle the water downward, and that cleans the pleats of the filter. So every pool is different when it comes to cleaning or replacing. But if you have an extra set, whenever you get ready to clean or replace, you have an extra set of filters to put in there. And just always remember, you need to clean them, rinse them. If you need to let it set in a bucket and let it set overnight and then rinse it off, that's another option. But, that's a little extra work.
Right.
And who wants to be?
Nobody.
No one wants to do extra work. And cartridge filters are nice. They're good. They break the microns down in the water smaller than a sand filter, but you put a sand filter and a cartridge filter side by side like a pool to the right, a pool to the left. One's got a cartridge filter, one's got a sand filter. You won't really know it.
Right.
You couldn't really hardly tell it.
Right.
It's just, how you turn on a light at night and you can see just a little bit of something. That's the microns in the water. And the cartridge filter does break them down smaller, but there's a payback for that. You've got to hire maintenance of removing the filters, cleaning them, having another set. So my recommendation is just put a sand filter on it.
Yeah. There you go.
And it makes it easier, simpler. We recommend about every 4 to 5 years replace the sand. And of course, we can do that for you.
Yeah.
That's a simple process, but that's the best answer I can give you on the cartridge filter.
That takes a lot of that hassle away
yeah.
if you can do that, no doubt about it.
That's right.
Well, we're about out of time for this, but we're always taking listener questions. So if you've got a question, you can click on the link in the show notes of this episode. Final question is, I'm guessing this is from someone who's a little bit younger, or maybe just someone who likes to have a little fun when it comes to pool floats. They're having a debate. Giant unicorn or inflatable pizza slice.
Oh, wow.
Which direction should we go?
That's interesting. Oh, wow. You know what? The best thing to do is just come in here and look at them. Just check them out. We have a lot of them inflated, and they're hanging, and you can kind of see the life size of them. They're pretty cool. So, the bigger the float, the more people can get on it, right?
Right.
If you got big family, so try to get everybody on it and see how that works.
See how that works. That's a good way to decide.
Yeah, it is. So, and we got different types of floats, and our toys and games, we got a kind of cool selection of them. Come in and check them out, because it really is, they're different. It's not what you'll find at the big box store.
Yeah.
They're kind of, pretty interactive toys and games, but the floats, I'm a traditionally kind of a floating chair guy,
Ooh,
but
it can't go wrong.
That makes it pretty cool. But when it comes to, depends on what you like to eat.
Depends on your
that
mood.
Day.
Really,
that's right.
What it comes down to.
That's right. So,
well, I usually take the float that has the space for a pool cocktail. So that's usually the one.
I like that. That's a great answer.
Well, make sure you drop off your questions by clicking the link in the show notes of this episode. Alex, thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun. We'll have to do this again. We've got plenty of questions coming in. So
absolutely, Dee.
We'll do it again.
Thanks for having me.
Let the celebrations continue. The team at Pride Pools is excited to give you a huge anniversary special. Actually, 3 of them. To celebrate 50 years all year long, you can get up to $10,000 in savings on 3 anniversary fiberglass pools. There are 3 sizes to choose from: the backyard size, the family size, and the fun size. How cool is that? So stop by the Claxton or Savannah locations of Pride Pools or go to pridepools.com for more information. Thanks for listening. Come by and meet your local pool and spa experts in Claxton on Highway 280 West or in Savannah on Gateway Boulevard South, or go to pridepools.com. If you love Backyard Family Fun as much as we do, be sure to give us a rating and review and subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. And if you have a question or topic you'd love for us to cover, drop us an email, info@pridepools.com, or tap the links for Facebook or Instagram in the show notes of this episode. We'd love to hear from you. Now let's go make a splash and have some backyard family fun.
Pride Pools, spas